would like to rebuild Arsenal or take over Arsenal or call it whatever you want to call it, because Arsenal is a team that is so close, so close to the glory days, so close to being right where they want to be, but it feels like they're so far away. And if I'm Arsenal, if I'm Arteta, I'm not giving up on the dream. I'm not giving up on the plan. I think I go fully in on January and make sure that we get the player that we need to make this succeed and get us to a Premier League title that Arsenal hasn't seen for years. So today in this takeover, aka rebuild, I am going to give you what I would do for Arsenal in January to make this team get over that hump that is needed for them to finally win the Premier League and win other major trophies like the Champions League. Because this team is so perfect, this team is built so well, but they're missing a key piece. Now, as we take a look at the starting 11 that Arteta puts out, first of all, the formation that they're in, I mean, in EA, in FC 25, they just say that it just doesn't work. Unfortunately, I don't know why it doesn't work, but they say it doesn't work. And listen, it's EA's logic for you. This is what they run in real life, but EA's saying it's not what they do. Now, we have a couple problems. I did turn Rice from a defensive mid to a center mid, so he can actually play in this formation that they're running. There's Sterling, that's a part of Arsenal, so he can play left mid, even though Martinelli plays there. But Martinelli in this game can't go to left mid, guys. I don't know why, but you can't make him a left mid. So that's kind of annoying. We might got to change the formation so this actually works. We actually might have to, which is fine. We can make that happen. If we turn Saka, if we turn him into a right mid, it would take 167 weeks, 20 weeks for Rice to change. So what I'm gonna do is actually change the formation so we can actually make this kind of work, and I'll kind of keep Arteta's plan kind of the same. He has it in a 4-4-2 right now. We're gonna change it to a 4-2-4, so that way the wings can actually be ran by Martinelli and also by Saka, two fantastic players in European football. So we go into a 4-2-4, which is very similar to a 4-4-2, which they're already set up in, and everybody should be able to play the formation or the position that they actually enjoy to play, because that's the number one thing, right? Getting players to play their actual positions. How come I can't find the 4-2-4? Am I tripping? There it is, 4-2-4. To actually get players to actually play the positions they like to play, right? They're a team that presses high, so we'll put them at like 80. And we'll go from there. All right, player roles, we can come back and fix that all, but inside forward for Saka, probably inside forward as well here. Up top, 2 advanced forwards would probably be good. Holding, we'll have one person be kind of like a playmaker, one will be a holding, Rice will be the holding, and kind of go from there. We'll have White as a wing back, and everything else will be perfect. That's the tactics that we're gonna go with. Very aggressive, very offensive tactics. And now the team should actually hopefully work. Hopefully, based off EA, we never really know. We got Saka at the right wing now. We got Martinelli at the left. Rice will become a center mid, and obviously Odegaard injured right now, but he's gonna be the playmaker in this once he's healthy in real life. So that is kind of how we have it set up. Now, what would I change? Now, this guy's name has been talked about in a lot of my videos. You guys know Ruben Amorim just signed for Manchester United. If you guys watch the Champions League, you guys know what Sporting did to Man City. You guys know there's a guy that I keep hyping in Portugal. I don't know if his release clause is 100 million or 70 million. I'm hearing a lot of people say that for a big European team, it's only 70 million. I don't know if that's actually true. I think it's 100 million, but there's a player named Gyökeres. And there's not a lot of number 9s in world football. You guys know that. He's 26 years old. He was successful in the championship in England, and he's successful in Portugal, and he's being successful in the Champions League. There is nobody really scoring more goals than this guy from the 9 position in world football right now. He is a very expensive player in real life. Again, 100 million. But when you're Arsenal and you're that close, guys, you're literally so close, you're missing one piece. I believe the piece is a number 9. People might be like, well, it's not. Well, where is it? Because it's not Rice and Odegaard. The back line's pretty damn good. Up top, you already have Saka. You need someone that can be a big body, hold up the ball, and smash it into the back of the net, but is also good on the counterattack. You need a Zlatan Ibrahimovic. You need a Van Nistelrooy. You need a Van Persie. You need a number 9 to finish off your plays, because Arsenal plays great football, but they need someone that can score. Gabriel Jesus, a great number 9, but more of a build-up player. You don't, Havertz can score, yeah, for sure, but is he a legit number 9? A legit number 9? So in the game right now, they say Gyökeres is around 60 million. And it's funny because I've been seeing reports around, you know, social media that says around 70 million is what it would take to get Gyökeres out of Sporting. I'm gonna offer 76. They want a midfielder. I'm gonna say no to that because I don't really want to give up a player, and we're just gonna go with 80, right? We're gonna go. I can't really see what I'm doing. Why is it? Has it always been like that? I don't know. I'm gonna give 80, and they bite. So 80 million. 80 million for a player like Gyökeres. Go look at his stats, lads. Go look at his stats. They're beyond amazing stats. And I believe it is the one piece at Arsenal that is missing. But I'm gonna say one more thing. I'm gonna take it one step further. It's the one piece that's missing for a lot of teams in world football. What's funny, when you guys are gonna, I know you guys are gonna laugh at me when I say this, it's the piece that's missing, guys, at Real Madrid. It's the piece that's missing at Real Madrid. Because as much as Mbappe's trying to be a number 9, and as great as he is as a goal scorer, number 9s make certain type of runs that other players don't know how to make. And that's what was so impressive about Ronaldo when he switched the 9 position. I've talked about this before, because when he switched that 9 position, he learned and understood the IQ of a number 9 to be able to move in the box to help your team get open and get free. And this Gyökeres guy knows how to make those movements. RVP knew how to make those movements. Van Nistelrooy, Morientes, Drogba, these type of players, Fernando Torres. It's not only about how many goals they score a year, it's the movements they make to make the center backs follow them to be able to free up space. And a lot of people don't understand that. They think it's just stats. They think it's just goals. And that's a very important part, yes. But it's also how you drag players out of position, how you drag center backs. All of that stuff is extremely important as well. So with that being said, guys, we can officially now put Gyökeres up top beside Havertz, then have Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard, Rice, Gabriel Saliba, White, and a great left back signing, in my opinion. Look at that back line, bro. I mean, it's a great team now. It's everything you want in a starting 11. Strong midfield, unbelievable up top, just an all-around phenomenal team. Does this mean they're gonna go on and win the league? Look, I'm not gonna say 100% yes, right? Because that would be me lying. City's a great team, you know? I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, 100% they win the league. That's easy peasy now. No, but I think they're gonna give themselves a very good chance now. A very good chance, because you have an unbelievable goal scorer and somebody that understands how to pull center backs out of position. I'm not gonna make no more changes. That's it. That's the only move I would make for Arsenal in January. And it would be a move that I think would make a lot of noise around Europe. So what we're gonna do is stop after every single month and see how the team is doing. Also, after 20 weeks, I will make Rice an actual center mid so the game never benches him, because you guys know how this game be benching people for no reason. And I just really hope that this shows and it helps Arsenal get to that next level, right? Getting important trophies. After the first week, lads, after September, that's August, excuse me, it is a perfect month for them. They did not get scored on. 3 goals against Wolves, 1 goal against Aston Villa, who's a fantastic team, and 1 goal against Brighton, another very hard game. Now, who scored the goals? I'm not gonna go and say Gyökeres, because I don't even know if he actually played. You know how EA is. They be benching good players all the time. Stat-wise, let's see what's going on here, man. So, for games played, we got White, Gabriel, Saliba, Gyökeres played 3. There you go. Havertz played 3 as well. And Gyökeres scored 2 goals in 3 games. 2 goals in 3 games already in the Premier League, guys. Odegaard dropped 1. Saka dropped 1. By the way, Rice is not playing because, like I told you guys, you have to wait 20 weeks. So I knew they were going to be playing the Spanish man over Rice, because that's just what EA does. Hopefully I can get Rice into this starting 11 as quickly as possible, because he's a huge player, let's be honest with each other. But right now he's a defensive mid, and it said 20 weeks to get him there. So he has 6 more weeks remaining before I can actually make him a holding center mid, and we can go forward from there. So 6 weeks will put us somewhere around, just from my own knowledge, I better go check this out so I don't go too far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So somewhere around October 6 or 13, we'll be able to move Rice to his new position, which will help the team massively. The month of September ends pretty okay. They lost to Spurs. That's never good because it's a big rival, right? Arsenal versus Spurs, everybody knows the rivalry there. But they bounced back with a big win in the Champions League. They then beat Manchester City in the league. They then beat Spurs in the cup. So Spurs are out of a cup already because of Arsenal. And then they go and beat Leicester, which then leads us to the next month where they'll be facing PSG and Liverpool. Massive games in the month of October, where we actually get to make Rice a center mid as well. So I would say all around, that's a pretty darn good month. I would say it's not a bad one at all. And you go look at the stats really quickly to see what's going on here. Top goal scorer now, Gyökeres with 7 in 8 games. He scored 2 in the Energy Cup, 4 in the Premier League, and 1 in the Champions League. No assists, but he's getting his job done. Saka with 4 and 3 assists. The Spanish man with 2 goals. Odegaard with 1 goal. Havertz with only 1 goal and 2 assists. And Martinelli with 1 goal. Again, Rice not getting PT, which drives me insane, but we're going to be able to change him very soon. How does the Premier League look, right? That's important because we got to know how the Premier League stands right now. Are they actually making noise in the Premier League, or is it just another season for Arsenal? The truth is, they're in first place on 15 points. Trailing them is Spurs by 1 point. By the way, if they beat Spurs, they would have been 4 points clear top of the table. That's a big deal for Arsenal. Let's see what happens the following month. Another month has gone by. They lost to PSG brutally, 4-1. Bounced back with the Southampton win. Win against in the Champions League 4-0, tied to Liverpool, and then beat Brighton in the Cup 1-0. So the tie to Liverpool is definitely one that you don't want to see, let's be honest. But they're still top of the table with 22 points and City on 20 points. So they're still having a fantastic start to the season, no doubt about it. The Champions League, a little slip up, but I wouldn't say anything to go too crazy about. Lost to PSG, nobody's freaking out about a loss to PSG. We can officially make Rice a center mid, which is really nice. I think I can, right? Did he change already? Do they automatically change this year, or do you have to change them? Last year, you had to change them. I don't know if they actually just changed. Did he just change? Guys, I don't know if he just changes. Let me go check real quick. Hopefully he just changed and he's actually into the starting 11 now. Team management, let me check. Here we go. He's still, so do you change it? I could have swore I changed them. Am I tripping? Did I do something wrong? I could have swore I changed him to a center mid. Now it's saying 100 and, did I do something wrong? Now it's saying 107 weeks. Oh, I think I messed up. I think I was supposed to change it here. 300 and, y'all, am I seeing that correctly? 369 weeks to change him to a center mid? This EA got to sort this out, bro. If it says they could play defensive mid or center mid, why does it have an exclamation point? And why is the game benching him? It says he can play it. Like, that's the dumbest thing in career mode, bro. Maybe I don't know something, y'all. Y'all can let me know in the comments down below if I'm wrong. That's just the dumbest thing. If it says he could play it, why can't he play? Why are you taking him out the starting 11? Look, he's only played 4 games. Like, what are you doing, bro? It says he could play center mid. Just play him in his spot. So the month of November, interesting one, because they tie to Liverpool, to Newcastle, and they lose in the Champions League. But they beat Chelsea, and they tie again. And then they tie in the Champions League to Sporting, who they bought Gyökeres from. They then beat West Ham, and December was an up and down month. Excuse me, November was an up and down month, but they got through it. Champions League, not looking so great for Arsenal, let's be honest. We move on to the following month, December, where they beat Manchester United, they beat Fulham, they tie to Monaco, they beat Everton, they win a big cup match. They then tie to Crystal Palace and lose a game, but then bounce back with a big win against the Bees. The Champions League, a big problem. The league, not so much. 43 points for Arsenal, and there's something I used to always say to all of my family members, and it's about my Benfica. We always talk about them doing good in the Champions League, but I used to always say, and this was before Benfica was competing, it was when they were going through a really hard phase. Learn how to win in Portugal before you learn how to win anywhere else. What do I mean by that? Arsenal need to learn how to win in England and then worry about the Champions League. If they win the league but get grouped in the Champions League, then it is what it is. Arsenal fans are going to be excited that they're back in England, that they're back competing for the Premier League, that they're back doing what they got to do in England. Of course, the Champions League is massive, but listen, if it doesn't happen for them, it doesn't happen for them. With 2 games remaining, I ain't focused on this. Whatever happens, happens here, Arteta. It's not a big deal. If you win the Premier League, nobody will care you got grouped in the Champions League. Hopefully they can bounce back and make the playoffs, but it's not looking good for them. But what is looking good is the league. And you know what else is looking good? I can't even say that because I don't know what he's doing. Let me not act like he's doing something crazy. Hopefully he's doing something crazy so it makes me look good for signing him. Gyökeres, let's go. 17 goals in 27 games with 1 assist. That's 18 contributions in 27 games. He has 11 goals in the Premier League, 4 goals in the Energy Cup, and 2 goals in the Champions League with 1 assist in the Premier League. Saka with 15 and 10, Havertz with 9 and 4. Think about that, lads. The 2 strikers between both of them, there's 17 goals and then 9 goals and 5 assists. Think about that, lads. The 2 strikers are scoring a lot of goals. And even when they bring this guy in who can play striker or the wing, most likely coming at the striker position, he has 6 goals. The strikers are doing striker type things. Unfortunately, Martinelli took an injury, which is a tough one that you never want to see that, but he did. End of the day, it's working for them. It's cooking for them. They're doing exactly what needs to be done in the league, bro. We're getting very, very close to January. We're in January pretty much now, where their last 2 games in the Champions League, I would say, are winnable games. I would say they're winnable. And if they win both of them, they could see themselves still stay alive in the Champions League. But the most important is to win the Premier League games. Let's see if they can do it. The month of January, interesting one. 2 big wins in the Champions League, a tie to Spurs, a loss to Wolves. But then 2 wins in the Premier League and 2 cup wins. So in the Premier League, they kind of slipped up a little bit. And you could tell. Only 2 points ahead of City now. And the next game is against City. That's kind of crazy. It's going to be a wild one. Did they do enough to get out the Champions League? Yes. 12th place, a big bounce back, which means they'll be in the playoffs, I believe. That is humongous for them. So they stay alive in the Champions League and still 2 points clear of the Premier League, which is not bad. They got a big game against City, which could obviously determine a lot if we're being honest with each other. That game might determine who wins it. 35 games, 22 goals now for my boy Gyökeres. The boy is going absolutely insane. A great month, kinda, sorta, not really. They tie to City, they beat West Ham, and they win another cup match. They then knock out RB from the Champions League, but they tie to Leicester, beat West Ham, and beat Forest. But guys, out of 4 Premier League games, 2 wins, 2 ties. So kind of slipping up now, man. Going into March, they see Real Madrid in the Champions League. I told you, the main focus needs to not be the Champions League. It needs to be winning the Premier League. And because of, I would say, worrying about the Champions League, they are no longer in first place. They're tied for first place, but City is in first place. Both on 56 points. City has the tiebreaker right now, so they are in first place. So Arsenal really got to get it together, man. They really got to get it together if they want to win this league. And let's be honest, to knock out Madrid, that's going to be tough. Let me explain. They beat Aston Villa in the cup. They get eliminated in the Champions League to Real Madrid. Can't hold your head down, bro. You got to keep your head up. That's not bad. Lose to United and lose the final of the Energy Cup to City. That's terrible. They lose the Champions League and the Energy Cup and Man United all in the same month. They beat Swansea City to keep their FA Cup dreams alive. They go into the month of April, beat Fulham, beat Everton, beat the Bees. They continue winning, but they lose to Chelsea. But then they bounce back and knock Liverpool out of the FA Cup. That's huge. They go into May. They then beat a big game 2-1, and they beat Liverpool. By the way, Liverpool is having a great season. So with 3 Premier League games and 1 FA Cup final. Is this the final? This might be the final. This actually might be the final. If it's not the finals, the semifinals. I'm not sure. It's either the final or the semis. So with a final and three games left, the league is in Arsenal's hands. With 1 game at hand, if they win, they can go 4 points clear of City and potentially win the Premier League. Again, the FA Cup final against Newcastle can go 4 points clear in the league. Yes, they lost the Energy Cup, but they were there in the final. And yes, the Champions League didn't go down the way they planned, but they lost to Real Madrid, who's in the final. Lads, this is exactly where Arsenal fans want to be. Let's see how the season ends. And the season's over. They lose to Newcastle in the league, but they beat Newcastle in the FA Cup final. And they also win the game against Southampton. I don't know if that's enough for them to win the league, y'all. I know they won the FA Cup, but did they win the league? Let me go a little bit further so we can see who the Champions League winner is. What day is that on? That might be on like the 5th or the 6th. I might got to go a little bit further. I don't know if Arsenal won the Champions League, won the Premier League. I really hope they did, because they had a phenomenal season. They did have a phenomenal season at the end of the day. We got to see what Gyökeres ended up doing. They won the league. 1 point over Liverpool. 1 point over Liverpool. 80 points. They win the league. They win the FA Cup against Newcastle 3-2. They lose the Energy Cup to City, and the Champions League goes to Atletico Madrid over Real Madrid. Wow, impressive. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not saying I know everything about football, because I know nothing about football. But all I did was try to get Arsenal a number 9. The one thing I feel like they were lacking. And the number 9 I signed, in 61 games, put up 40 goals. 22 of those came in the Premier League. 6 of those came in the Champions League. 6 of them came in the FA Cup. And another 6 came in the Energy Cup. That is crazy numbers. He then put up 4 assists. Saka saw 27 goals and 14 assists. Havertz put up 19 goals and 10 assists. I want you guys to understand, based off of EA logic, obviously it's just EA, their striker they have now compared to the striker we brought in. The striker we brought in scored double the goals of Havertz, 21 goals more. And it just is what happens when you bring in an actual number 9. And it's the one thing I feel Arsenal is missing. I know Gyökeres is a lot of money. I know Gyökeres is not cheap, but Gyökeres is fast, holds up the ball well, scores a lot of goals, and is a very good team player that knows how to play build-up football. In my opinion, he's the piece missing at Arsenal. And if it's not him, then it's any number 9 in world football that they can get their hands on that's an incredible number 9. This team needs a big number 9 that can score. Van Persie, Drogba, Morientes, like I'm telling you, just a big body Forlan. Those old school type of number 9s. Kind of what Gyökeres is, man. You guys see right here what Arsenal did. They won the league with a crazy awesome performance from Gyökeres. And guess what? Gabriel Jesus didn't really play. And another thing, my boy Rice wasn't playing as much as he should be, because the game is just weird. Obviously, they play the Spanish guy more. Rice played, how many games that maybe Rice did start playing? Did Rice start playing? Where is he? Wait, watch Rice have got bought out. Did Rice get bought out? Nah, Rice played 23 games. Hey, I hope you guys enjoy this Arsenal takeover. It's what I would do in January if I was Arsenal. I know the season hasn't started as good as Arsenal fans expected, but Gyökeres could really help you guys, or any number 9. Hey, thanks for watching. Love you guys. I'll catch you next time. Peace. We're out of here.